Okay, here's some receipts for those people that think that I'm a terrible investor. I posted this video on July 31st, 2024. Ben Graham said that in the short run, the stock market is a voting machine, but in the long run, it's a weighing machine. And I think if you do good analysis, eventually the market will catch up with you, even if in the short run, it might be a bumpy ride. So I'm not going to go through this video, but in this video, I went through everything I liked about Nintendo and everything I didn't like. And I did mention that the big question mark was going to be the release of the new Switch. If it did well, the whole company would do well. If it did terribly, the whole company was going to do terribly. Did better than expected. It's actually sold out in Japan. There's a waiting list, and it still hasn't been released in that country or other countries. It's on pre-order, but they took as many pre-orders as they could, then they shut it down because they were completely sold out. So they could have charged more for it and sold even more, but lots of people were questioning if it was a good idea for this new console because they thought the price was too high. It turns out it's not too high. It's not high enough because it's sold out in pre-order. So if you had bought when I put out this video in July 31st, going through the analysis and agreed with the analysis, not because I said to buy it, not because I said not to buy it. I don't give investing advice. I just walk through my process and what I look at and how I analyze a stock. If you had bought this on July 31st, what would have happened? Keep in mind that the market, dipped about 30% since Trump started throwing hand grenades at it. But July 31st, if you had bought it when I bought it, if you had bought it when this video came out, it would have been 1352 and it would have dropped a few days later to 1188. A lot of you would have sold it and said, this guy's a effing moron. Why should I listen to him? But if you looked at the analysis that I did and said, okay, that makes perfect sense. I don't care if I'm in for a bumpy ride. It would have come back. It would have gone higher. It would have gone lower. It would have gone higher. It would have gone lower. Would have gone higher, lower. And as of yesterday, when they announced that it was sold out in pre-order, it's almost $20 a share. So it would have gone up about 50% from here. It did go down literally a couple of days after I posted this video. And again, it wasn't a recommendation to buy. It wasn't a recommendation to sell. And even if you had bought before the video came out, if you had held on from here to here, that's like a 50% gain in 8 months while the market is down like 20 or 25%. If you had bought here, it would have been even better. But the reason to buy here or here is not because the price moved. It's on the fundamentals. So what did you think of the new Switch release? What do you think of Switch Online? How much cash does Nintendo have on hand? It's about 25% of their net worth is in cash when I did the video. What do you think of the theme parks? That should be your thesis, not whether the thing goes up or down. So I did early retire at 53 in January. And I was doing these videos just to go through my process, but nobody watches these. So I think I'm just going to do more on my early retired life. But this is just a reminder that if you pick individual stocks, it is a bumpy ride a lot of times. And for most people who are not willing to put in the work to do the analysis of each company and their fundamentals and what's going to drive the company forward in the future versus what happened in the past, don't buy individual stocks, just buy an index fund. If you are willing to put in the hard work, you can get other companies like this that you can find that other people aren't looking at. When everybody's talking about Palantir, when everybody's talking about NVIDIA, you can find companies like this that didn't do well for years, right? Here's a 5-year chart. It went from 11 to 11 over 5 years, and other companies were doing great. But if you looked at what's going on in the future, not what's going on in the past, the Switch Online would have been the big catalyst. So, you don't look at what's going on in the past, you look at what's going on in the future. And if you look at a company like Palantir, which I think is terrible, doesn't make any money, and it's all AI hype. If you look at the 5-year chart on this, you would have done great if you bought 5 years ago, right? But if you buy now, you're probably not going to do great. Why? Because all the gains from the past don't help you. They help the prior stockholders who you're buying from. They don't help you because you only need to care about what's going on forward. So from this price and this earnings of, it's a PE of 573. Do you think this can grow into this? And if you don't buy it. Buy something else. So this isn't a recommendation to buy or sell, but you understand what Crocs does. Nobody understands what Palantir does. The people who invest in it, the people who work there, nobody understands what Palantir does. So would you rather pay 573 times last year's earnings for a company that you don't understand, or would you rather pay 6 times earnings for a company that you understand? Crocs makes ugly shoes, and they're profitable at it. And ugly shoes, injection molded rubber into a form, that's easy to understand. Palantir's not. So most people, as I said, are better off just buying the index. But if you're going to buy individual stocks, you should understand what you're buying. Buy things you can understand, buy them cheaply, and then just hold on through the bumps. So again, this isn't a recommendation to buy Crocs. This isn't a recommendation to sell Palantir. I'm just showing you how I think about buying individual stocks because I do buy individual stocks. And it is a lot of work. And if you're not willing to do that work, and if you don't have the stomach to handle those bumpy rides, then just buy the index and ignore it. Don't even look at your brokerage statement. Just put the same amount every month and go on with your life, because you're much better off in terms of financial well-being if you focus on your career and doing well there. And then the money you make from the career, just put it in an index fund and forget about it. Then you are trying to pick individual stocks, because there's people on Wall Street who do that for a living, and that is their career. And it's hard for them to beat the market. And if you have a career doing something else and you're going to do this part-time, that's very difficult. You're much better off focusing on your career and building up your career, and then use the earnings from that to just invest in an index fund on the side, and you'll be fine. So like and subscribe to this, and I'll be putting out more videos about early retirement and financial well-being and stuff like that. But good luck, everyone.